Hey family, good afternoon. One thing I love about God is that He doesn't force anybody to love Him. Okay? The devil, on the other hand, he is a trickster. Okay? He loves to use the bait and switch. He baits you in, right? Pretending to be something he not, right? That's what he always do. He pretended to be an angel to try to bait Seth in, right? He pretended to be an old man from God to try to get Adam and Eve to follow him. He pretended to be angels multiple times, right? He pretended to be Adam after Adam died. When he approached Jared, he pretended to be him in order to get Jared to follow him off the mountain. So he always pretends to be something that he's not in order to get you to follow him. Okay? And then once you follow him, then he do the switch. And then he show you who he really is. And then your life start being miserable, okay? And and Adam showed me that in the book of Adam and Eve, right? He made all these promises to Adam and Eve to get them to follow him, and then once they got kicked out, he spent every day trying to destroy and kill Adam and Eve, to the point Adam was like begging God, please let me back in the garden. Like, please, I'm sorry. I said I'm sorry. Please let. But God was like, no, you need to learn, right? You need to learn who you're following, who this person is, right? Because sometimes when you don't learn your lesson, you keep repeating it. And it's not until you be like, okay, I never want to experience that again, that you get to the point where you're like, it don't matter how many temptations that is presented, I will never go back to that again. And so God allowed Adam and Eve to stay in their punishment because he wanted them to get to the point where they was like, okay, I know who the devil is, and I know how bad he treats his people, and I will never follow him again, and I will never be tricked by him again. Okay? And so, but, God, he doesn't force anybody to love him, right? He didn't force Adam and Eve to love him and follow him, right? He don't force anybody to love him because he want the right people around him, right? The devil showed God that he need the right people around him. That no matter what, ain't go turn on him. Because the devil turned on him. The devil wanted his position. And he convinced others to turn on him. So he want people around him that's not going to turn on him, that's going to love him no matter what, right? That can't be convinced to go against him, right? And so you see that in Exodus 24, it's like God had just saved them, and he told Moses to come up, and he gave him the law and the commands, and he's like, okay, now go back and tell them this, okay? And it says, when Moses went and told the people all the Lord's words and laws, they responded with one voice, everything the Lord has said we will do. Okay? So God didn't force them. Okay? He was just like, if you want to stay around me, these are my requirements. Okay? I know some people don't like to follow rules. Okay? But God is like, This is my rules, right? This is like what I require. This is what I consider love. And if you say you love me, these are my requirements. And if you can't follow the requirements, I don't want you around me. I love you, but I don't want you around me. Because if you don't follow my rules, it's going to continue to bring destruction and badness around me, and I don't want those type of vibes. Okay? I like to chill. I like peace. Right? God likes peace. And ever since I've been in God, I've had peace. And anytime somebody starts disturbing my peace, God removes them. Because we like peace over here. Okay? Some people like drama, like my daughter. She liked the tea, right? But I like peace. Don't bring that drama over here, okay? I like to relax. I like to be to myself. I like for it to be quiet. You see, it's quiet, right? You would have never known I had dogs. Right? So God is like, this is what I require to be over here with me. You can choose to do it or you can choose not to do it. But if you choose to be here with me, these are my requirements, okay? And then if you go to Numbers 30, it says, Moses said to the heads of the tribe of Israel, this is what the Lord commands. When a man makes a vow to the Lord or takes an oath to obligate himself by a pledge, he must not break his word, but must do everything he said. Okay? So when Israel in Exodus said, I will do everything, I will follow every law, and I will do anything that God has commanded, God took that serious. And he held them to it. Okay? And when you break your vow, there's consequences. Okay? It's just like when you break a law, right? You probably go to jail if they find out you did it, right? So there's consequences for every action, right? And so God is like, you break it, this is what's going to happen. He even let you know that up front. He let you know what will be the consequences if you break the law. So you can't be like, I didn't know the law and I didn't know the consequences, because God told them up front and they agreed to it. Okay? So God will not force anybody to love him. He will not force anybody to follow him. Okay? But if you do, and if you take the vows to follow him and love him as he requested, then that is what he expects. Okay? And if you don't, then there's consequences. Okay? And if you don't choose to follow him, okay, and you choose to follow the enemy, God lets you know what's going to happen then also too, right? He lets you know that in Revelations 19, it says, but the beast was captured, and with it the false prophet and who had performed the signs on his behalf. Okay? And it says that all who worship his image will be thrown in the fire. Okay? So if you choose to worship the devil, you go be punished with the devil. Okay? Because the devil's punishment was the fire. So if you want to follow him, you got to go be punished with him too. Okay? And that is the truth.